Today's story is about the case of Hayang, who became angry and attacked a woman after rejected his confession. On the night of January 21, 2009, at a coffee shop located within Virginia Tech, there was a Chinese woman named Shin, lying on the floor covered in blood. Right next to her was a Chinese man named Hayang, also covered in blood, holding Shin's head. What could have happened between these two individuals to cause such a horrific incident? Hayang was born in 1984 in Ningbo, China. His father is a university professor and his mother is a surgeon. His parents were living a very successful life in China. His parents emphasized the importance of education since he was a child, and they were strict with him. He diligently studied as they desired. He consistently achieved top grades from elementary to high school. After graduating from high school, he was admitted to Shanghai Ocean University, the university he had always wanted to attend. While some students slack off in their studies after entering university, Zhu remained dedicated to his studies. While his friends went to PC cafe for playing computer games or pursued relationships, he always studied in the library. Perhaps due to his efforts, he consistently achieved nearly perfect scores in various exams including English proficiency, and he was able to speak English fluently to the point of winning first place in the National English Speaking Contest. He was not just a diligent student, he was also a remarkable individual with excellent grades, manners, and many people liked him. After graduating from university with outstanding grades, he entered graduate school at Shanghai Ocean University. After completing his graduate studies, he received an admission letter from Virginia Tech in the United States, and he decided to study in the United States. He began his PhD studies in agricultural and applied economics at Virginia Tech in August 2008. In the early days of studying in the United States, everything in America seemed fresh and exciting to Zhu, and he was enthusiastic about new challenges. He would wake up early in the morning and study until late at night, leading a vibrant life full of enthusiasm. However, as time passed, Zhu's enthusiasm for life began to fade. One of the main reasons was the heavy workload at university. It felt like going back to the days of preparing for the college entrance exam in his senior year of high school. He wasn't satisfied with his major and he felt uncertain about his job prospects. Zhu started sharing his thoughts, feelings, and concerns with his friends in China using a messaging app WeChat. Moreover, the unfamiliar culture of the United States was a headache for him. While everything went smoothly in China, as if catching the wind in the sails in the United States, it was not the same. He gradually became discouraged and started to feel depressed. One day, while he was going through such gloomy days, a junior international student was arriving and he received a request from a friend at the school to go and pick someone up at the airport. Accepting the request of his friend, he left early in the morning on January 8, 2009, heading to the airport holding a sign that read Shin. Soon, amidst the bustling crowd, a tall and beautiful woman approached him, smiling brightly and introducing herself as Shin. The sudden appearance of Yang, speaking in Chinese and smiling brightly amidst the airport full of foreigners, opened his eyes. As he accompanied Yang back, he passionately explained the life and situation at the school in the United States. Yang sensed sincerity in his demeanor as she introduced herself briefly, revealing that she was 22 years old and hailed from Beijing. Currently, she was pursuing a major in accounting at a university in Canada. Additionally, she had applied for Canadian permanent residency and was diligently managing her academic commitments alongside 2 part-time jobs. A woman studying and working desperately alone in a foreign country. When Zhu heard her story, he sincerely sympathized with her. And when he saw her innocent face, his heart started to flutter. He told Yang that they should help each other as fellow Chinese and live together in a foreign country, relying on each other. Hearing Zhu's story, Yang explained that the school was on vacation, so she couldn't stay in the dormitory and had to find a place to live. She expressed her concerns about searching for a room in a strange country. Upon hearing Yang's worries, Zhu didn't hesitate and actively searched for a place with her. However, finding a suitable house in a short period of time was not easy. In the end, they couldn't find a suitable house and Yang was at a loss. Although she could stay in a hotel for a few days, it was not feasible to continue staying there before entering the dormitory. She had to find a place to live. While she was contemplating, Zhu suggested that she stay temporarily at his apartment until she found a place. When she hesitated to accept, he continued to persuade her and eventually she decided to stay at his apartment. After Yang moved in, Zhu had meals, went shopping and had coffee with her, enjoying each other's company. She felt fortunate to have met such a kind senior, but Zhu had a completely different and mistaken idea. He developed strong feeling for her and even wrote a heartfelt love letter in his diary expressing his affection for her. In his diary, he described she was beautiful and expressed his intention to treasure her forever. He believed that they were already like a couple except for the confession. Yang seemed to notice Zhu's misconception. One day he confidently confessed his feelings to her, expecting her to say yes. Unfortunately, the answer he received was no. After his confession, Yang quickly paid the rent to him as a gesture of gratitude and moved out of the apartment. However, he continued to call her and confess his feelings, but each time he received the same rejection. Zhu couldn't understand why she was rejecting a good man like himself. With the stress of academics and being in a foreign environment, he felt like he was going crazy because she didn't reciprocate his feelings. She told him that she already had a boyfriend whom she intended to marry. Zhu wrote a letter, expressed his deep heartbreak over her rejection, stating that her fiancé could not compare to his own background and education. He believed that she should have recognized that he would have been the best husband for her. On January 21, 2009, Zhu called Yang and suggested meeting at the cafe located at the Graduate Life Center, and she agreed to the meeting. When he met her at the cafe, he once again confessed his feelings. As expected, he received another rejection from her. In the midst of the awkward atmosphere, just as she was about to leave, he suddenly took out a knife and started attacking her. In a sudden attack, she lost her life on the spot. She bravely fought back and sustained numerous wounds on her arms and hands. However, he, seemingly still not relieved, stepped on her body and raised the knife high, repeatedly striking her head. The cafe turned into chaos in an instant and people fled in all directions, and a cafe worker called 911. After the crime, he did not flee and stood there dazed. When the police arrived, they arrested him, who was still holding Yang's head. Immediately after the arrest, he murmured, "You cannot reject me." An officer from the Virginia Tech Police Department witnessed the horrifying scene of Yang's lifeless body on the ground. Upon the police's command to raise his hands, he dropped her head to the ground. The officer discovered a kitchen knife on the table, and Zhu said additional knives in his backpack. Zhu's landlord noted his peculiar and confrontational behavior. For instance, he shared an apartment with two other individuals but refused to adjust the heating, resulting in frozen and burst pipes. The landlord installed a thermostat, but Zhu later deactivated the heater. Prosecutors characterized Zhu as obsessed and jilted. While detained at the Montgomery County Jail, underwent evaluation at a mental hospital. He faced charges of first-degree murder. 15 months after the incident in 2010, the trial took place in a Virginia court. Montgomery Circuit Judge Robert Turk sentenced Zhu to life imprisonment without possibility of parole. While in prison, Zhu wrote a letter in which he claimed that Yang's rejection forced him to kill her as he deeply loved her. It was a horrific incident that showed how a distorted mind of one person can lead to such terrible consequences.